My real mom still cries for me when 4-year-old Amelia looked up from her breakfast one Tuesday morning and said with heartbreaking certainty, "My real mom still cries for me every night." She sits by my old window and holds my teddy bear. Her adoptive mother, Claire, felt her coffee cup slip from her trembling fingers. The ceramics shattered against the kitchen floor, but Claire barely noticed the mess spreading at her feet. Her daughter was speaking with the profound sadness of someone who had witnessed unbearable grief, and the weight of those words seemed to fill the entire room. Claire and her husband, Mark, had adopted Amelia as an infant through a closed adoption. They knew nothing about her birth mother, except that she had been very young and unable to care for a child. Amelia had never asked about her biological parents before, seemingly content with the loving family that had raised her. But now, staring into her daughter's impossibly wise brown eyes, Claire realized that Amelia carried knowledge that went far deeper than anything a 4-year-old should possess. "Sweetheart," Claire said carefully, kneeling beside Amelia's chair, "what do you mean by your real mom?" Amelia's small face crumpled with an emotion that seemed far too mature for her age. "Before I came to live with you and Daddy, I had another. Mommy. Her name is Jessica, and she loved me so much, but she couldn't take care of me because she was too young and scared. She pushed her cereal around in the bowl, her appetite forgotten. I can feel her sadness sometimes, especially at night. She thinks about me every day and wonders if I'm okay, if I'm happy, if I remember her at all." Claire's heart clenched as she watched her daughter struggle with emotions that belonged to someone else's story. "Amelia, how do you know about Jessica?" "Because I remember," Amelia said simply, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "I remember being inside her tummy and how she would sing to me and rub her belly. I remember how scared she was when I was born and how much it hurt her to let me go." The specificity of the details made Claire's skin prickle with unease. Amelia spoke with the intimate knowledge of someone who had experienced these moments firsthand, not the vague fantasies of a child's imagination. "She was only 16, Amelia continued, her young voice heavy with understanding that seemed impossible for her age. "Her parents were angry, and her boyfriend ran away when he found out about me. She wanted to keep me so badly, but everyone told her she was too young, that she couldn't give me the life I deserved." Tears began streaming down Amelia's cheeks. "So she held me for 3 days in the hospital, and she whispered promises that she would find me someday when she was older and ready to be a real mom. But then the social worker came and took me away, and Jessica cried so hard I could feel her heart breaking." Claire felt her own tears falling as she listened to her daughter describe a birth mother's anguish with devastating accuracy. Whether this was memory or intuition or something else entirely, the emotion behind it was undeniably real. "Amelia, why are you telling me this now?" Amelia looked up with eyes that seemed to hold galaxies of compassion. "Because Jessica needs to know. I'm okay. She needs to know that you and Daddy love me, and that I'm happy, and that I don't blame her for giving me away." She reached out and took Claire's hand in her small one. "She thinks about me every day on my birthday, wondering if I'm celebrating. Somewhere, if I have friends, if I like cake and presents. She imagines what I might look like now, what my voice sounds like, whether I inherited her love of music." The detail about music made Claire's breath catch. Amelia had indeed shown an unusual affinity for singing and had been asking for piano lessons. Could this be something inherited from a birth mother she'd never consciously met? "How do you know all this, sweetheart?" Amelia tilted her head, considering the question with the seriousness of a philosopher. "I think when you love someone as much as Jessica loved me, it creates a connection that doesn't break just because you're separated. Sometimes when I'm very quiet, I can feel what she's feeling." She paused, her small brow furrowed in concentration. "And sometimes I dream about her." She's grown up now, and she has a job helping other kids, but she's still sad about me. She keeps a picture of me from the hospital in a special box, and she writes me letters that she never sends. Over the following days, Amelia's descriptions of Jessica became more detailed and more emotionally charged. She would wake up from naps talking about dreams where she saw Jessica working at a daycare center, reading stories to children, and thinking about the daughter she'd given up. She described Jessica's apartment, her car, even the way she arranged her furniture. She has a rocking chair by the window, Amelia told Claire one evening as they sat together on the porch. It's the same chair her grandma used to rock her in when she was little. She sits there every night and looks at the stars, wondering if I'm looking at the same sky. The image was so vivid, so emotionally resonant, that Claire found herself researching private investigators who specialized in adoption cases. Against her better judgment, she was beginning to believe that Amelia's connection to her birth mother might be real. "Mommy," Amelia said one night as Claire was tucking her into bed, "Jessica is going to try to find me soon. She's been saving money for a long time to hire someone to help her, and she's finally ready." Claire felt her heart skip a beat. "How do you know that?" "Because I can feel her getting braver. She's not the scared 16-year-old girl anymore. She's 20 now, and she has her own place and a good job, and she thinks maybe she's ready to be part of my life if you and Daddy say it's okay." The next morning, Claire made a decision that would change all their lives. She contacted the adoption agency and requested that they reach out to Amelia's birth mother, if possible, to let her know that her daughter was happy and loved, and that the adoptive family was open to contact if she was interested. The response came faster than Claire had expected. Jessica Martinez, now 20 years old and working as a child care provider, had indeed been trying to locate her daughter through legal channels. She had been saving money for months to hire a private investigator and had just started the process. When the adoption agency contacted her, the first phone call was arranged for a Saturday morning when Amelia was playing in the backyard. Claire's hands shook as she dialed the number, not knowing what to expect from this conversation with the young woman who had given birth to her daughter. "Hello?" The voice on the other end was soft, nervous, and unmistakably young. "Jessica? This is Claire Thompson. I'm Amelia's adoptive mother." The silence that followed was so long that Claire wondered if the connection had been lost. Then she heard the sound of quiet crying. "Is she okay?" Jessica whispered. "Is she happy? Does she ever ask about me?" Claire felt tears burning her eyes. "She's wonderful, Jessica. She's healthy and happy, and so loved. And yes, she asks about you. In fact, she's the one who asked me to find you." "She asked you to find me?" Jessica's voice was filled with wonder and disbelief. "Jessica, this is going to sound impossible, but Amelia seems to remember you. She describes you, talks about how much you love her, even knows things about your current life that she couldn't possibly know." Claire took a deep breath. "She says you cry for her at night, that you sit by a window in a rocking chair and think about her. She says you work with children and that you've been saving money to find her." The gasp on the other end of the line was audible. How could she possibly know that? She was just a baby when... I don't know how she knows. But Jessica, she wants you to know that she's okay, that she understands why you made the choice you did, and that she doesn't blame you. She says you were brave and loving, and that you gave her the best gift you could by making sure she had a family who could take care of her. Jessica broke down completely, sobbing with the force of 4 years of suppressed grief and longing. "I've thought about her every single day. I've wondered if she was happy, if she felt abandoned, if she would hate me for giving her away." "She could never hate you," Claire said gently. "She loves you, Jessica. She carries your love with her, and somehow she carries yours too." The meeting was arranged for the following weekend at a neutral location, a park where children played and families gathered. Claire and Mark brought Amelia, their hearts pounding with nervousness and anticipation. Jessica arrived early, sitting on a bench and watching every car that pulled into the parking lot. When Amelia saw Jessica across the playground, she broke away from Claire's hand and ran directly toward her with the confidence of a child greeting a beloved family member. Jessica stood up slowly, her face streaming with tears as she watched this little girl who had grown from the baby she'd held for 3 precious days. "Jessica!" Amelia called out, throwing herself into the young woman's arms. "I knew you'd come. I told Mommy you were getting ready to find me." Jessica caught Amelia in a fierce embrace, holding her as if she might disappear at any moment. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You're so beautiful. You're so big." Amelia pulled back to look into Jessica's face, her small hands framing the young woman's cheeks. "Don't cry, Jessica. I'm okay. I'm happy. Mommy and Daddy love me so much, and I have my own room and lots of toys, and I'm learning to read." "I'm not sad," Jessica said, laughing through her tears. "I'm happy. I'm so happy to see you." "I know," Amelia said with the wisdom of someone much older. "I could feel your happiness mixing with your sadness. That's how I knew it was time for us to meet." They spent the afternoon together, with Amelia showing Jessica her favorite playground equipment and telling her about her life with Claire and Mark. But it was the quiet moments that were most remarkable, the way Amelia would spontaneously hug Jessica as if comforting her for years of separation, and the way Jessica would study Amelia's face as if memorizing every detail. "She has your eyes," Claire told Jessica as they watched Amelia play on the swings. "And your smile," Jessica replied. "She looks happy, really, truly happy." "She is. But I think she's been carrying a piece of your sadness, too." "She's always been." "Unusually empathetic, especially when it comes to people who are hurting." Jessica nodded, wiping her eyes. "I used to worry that giving her up would damage her somehow, that she'd grow up feeling unwanted or unloved. But looking at her now, she's perfect. You've given her everything I wanted her to have." As the afternoon wound down, Amelia approached Jessica with a small drawing she'd made at the playground's art station. It showed 2 women and a little girl, all holding hands under a bright sun. "This is for you," Amelia said, pressing the paper into Jessica's hands. "It's you and Mommy and me. We're all connected now, like a family with extra love." Jessica stared at the drawing, her tears falling onto the paper. "Can I keep this forever?" "Of course. And Jessica?" Amelia looked up with those impossibly wise eyes. "You don't have to cry for me anymore at night. I'm okay, and now you know it for sure. You can be happy now." Over the following months, Jessica became a regular part of Amelia's life, not as a replacement mother, but as someone special who loved her in a unique way. They would meet for lunch, go to the zoo, or simply spend quiet afternoons together while Jessica marveled at the child she'd brought into the world. Amelia's mysterious connection to Jessica's emotions gradually faded as their relationship became grounded in present-day reality rather than psychic intuition. But the bond between them remained strong, built on a foundation of love that had transcended years of separation. "Do you still feel Jessica's sadness?" Claire asked Amelia one evening as they sat together reading bedtime stories. Amelia shook her head, smiling peacefully. "No, because she's not sad anymore. She knows I'm loved and happy, and that's all she ever wanted. Now when I think about her, I just feel warm and grateful." She looked up at Claire with eyes that held both the innocence of childhood and the wisdom of someone who had experienced love in its purest form. "I think I came back to this family not just to be loved, but to help Jessica heal from the sadness of letting me go. Sometimes love means bringing people together, and sometimes it means helping them find peace with being apart. Years later, when Amelia was a teenager, she would often speak about having two mothers who had each given her different but equally important gifts. Claire had given her stability, security, and the foundation of a loving home. Jessica had given her life itself, and the understanding that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is make an impossible sacrifice for someone else's well-being. The rocking chair that Amelia had described still sits by Jessica's window, but now it holds happy memories instead of sorrowful ones. Sometimes Jessica sits there in the evenings, not crying for a lost daughter, but smiling as she thinks about the remarkable young woman Amelia is becoming, and the miracle that brought them back together when the time was right. The connection between them had defied every rational explanation, challenged every assumption about the nature of love and memory and the bonds between parent and child. But it had also revealed profound truths about the enduring power of maternal love, the mysterious ways that hearts can remain connected across time and distance, and the healing that becomes possible when we're brave enough to believe in them. Impossible. If Amelia's story moves you as deeply as it moves me, please subscribe to our channel. We explore the mysteries of human connection, the unexplained bonds that tie families together across time and circumstance, and the remarkable ways that love finds expression even in the most challenging situations. Your subscription helps us. Continue sharing these incredible tales that remind us that some connections are too strong for separation to break, and that sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones that teach us about sacrifice, forgiveness, and the courage to love without conditions.